Mm. So, what do you think then? Like, what should we do, like, to talk about the same thing? Like, when we're trying to find up like a proper definition when defining like religion, atheism, what should it do?
Well, it might not be necessary for us to agree on a definition. It's more that if I know how you're using the term, I can understand what you're saying. And if you know how I'm using the term, you can understand what I'm saying. Of course, it would be easier for us if we agreed on the definition, because then we wouldn't have to keep doing this sort of translation in our heads. Oh, okay, so that's what he means, right?
Hmm.
It would be more straightforward. Um, there's a bunch of different things that you might think that you're going to do if you're giving a definition, even from your own point of view, right? Even if it's just for this kind of trying to avoid talking past each other project. So you might think that the important thing is to sort of identify the phenomena that you think are picked out by the term. So in certain circles, people talk about nominal definitions. What they've got in mind for a nominal definition is that, say I'm defining religion, that my definition picks out all the things that are religion and doesn't pick out any of the things that are not religion. And perhaps it's not just that it does this for the actual world, but it does it for kind of other possible worlds as well. So that's one sort of way of thinking about a definition where the kind of what matters is just the class of things that are being picked out. A different project that you might have, um, and in some circles this is called looking for a real definition, is to say something about what the essential intrinsic properties of whatever it is that we're talking about are. So that's quite different from picking the things out. The idea is that you've then got, you sort of know what the nature of the thing is, and that's what the definition is giving. There are lots of people who are skeptical about whether you can give real definitions, but there are some people who think you can. That's another thing that you might be doing. There's a third thing, at least for some concepts or some words that you might think to do as well. And we'll come back, I think, and talk about this a bit more later. But you might think that you can give a, what gets what's called in the literature an ameliorative definition. You might be able to give a definition that's kind of tailored to your political goals and ambitions. And in some circumstances, that might be a good thing to do. So it's not, the question isn't so much what what do we mean by the word religion, but rather something more like what should we mean given our kind of goals and purposes for of certain kinds, perhaps our activist
Mm.
purposes. So there's a bunch of different things that you might be doing in giving a definition, and it will kind of depend on the conversation that you're having, people that you're talking to, what kind of definition it's appropriate for you to give.